all the judges are ready.
And time. Alright. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the theater. And tonight's performance by the Reduced Shakespeare Company.
Please refrain from eating, drinking, or smoking during tonight's performance. Please take a moment now to locate all the exits nearest to your seat. Should the theater experience a sudden loss in pressure, oxygen masks will drop automatically. Simply place the mask over your nose and mouth and breathe normally. If you're at the theater with a small child tonight, please put your mask on first and let the little booger fend for themselves.
At this time, I would like to take a moment to introduce myself. My name is Daniel Singer of the Reduced Shakespeare Company. And tonight we're going to try and perform a feat which we believe to be unprecedented in the history of the theater. And that is to capture in one theatrical experience the magic and the genius of the complete works of William Shakespeare. Now we have a lot to get through tonight, so at this time I would like to introduce a member of the company who has a bachelor's degree from the University of California at Berkeley, where I believe read 2 books about William Shakespeare. Please welcome me in joining Jess Bergson.
Thank you, Daniel, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Now, without any further ado, the Reduced Shakespeare Company is proud to present the complete works of William Shakespeare, abridged.
By Jess Bergson, Adam Long, and Daniel Singer.
Now, where better to begin our exploration through one of the greatest playwrights in history than in Verona, Italy, with 2 of his most beloved characters,
Romeo
and Juliet.
What are you doing?
The balcony scene.
But soft, what light through yonder window breaks?
Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo?
I take thee at thy word, call me but loud.
Go, thou rust and let me die. And Romeo and Juliet are dead. The end. Alright, now let's move on to some of the genius in Shakespeare's more mature plays.
As we now perform Othello, the Moor of Venice.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we obviously have a bit of a problem performing Othello because the part is written for a black man, which we are obviously not. I mean...
We don't really have the physical characteristics necessary to portray... Yeah, we're really southern.
So, due to physical limitations, we will not be performing Othello.
I've got an idea. Just kind of join in. Here's a story of a brother by the name of Othello. He liked white women and he liked green jello.
Okay, and a punk named Iago who made himself a menace because he didn't like Othello, the Moor of Venice.
Now Othello got married to Desdemona.
But he took off for the wars and he left her alone.
It was a Mona.
A grown-up.
He left her alone.
He didn't write a letter and he didn't tell Athona.
Now Desdemona, she was faithful. She was chastity type.
She was the daughter of a duke.
She was totally white.
But Iago had a plan that was clever and slick.
He was crafty.
He was sly.
He was sort of...
Whoa, I need a dupe, I need a dope, I need a kind of a schmo.
So he found a chump sucker by the name of Cassio.
And he plants on him Desdemona's handkerchief.
Then he come home and stick a pillow in her face. Kills her, then soliloquizes about his disgrace.
But now there's Emily at the door, who we met in Act 4, who say, "You big dummy, so why'd you have to go and make a face turn blue?"
It's true.
It's you.
Now what you gonna do?
And Othello say,
Yo. It's getting pretty scary.
So he pulled out his blade and committed hara-kiri.
Now Iago got caught, but he probably copped a plea.
He loaded up his bags.
And moved to Beverly
Hills, that is. Alright, let's take a break from this heavy tragedy and move on to the comedies for a while.
Comedies, okay.
Now, Shakespeare was wonderful at adapting and borrowing plot devices from different theatrical traditions.
Yeah, basically, Shakespeare stole everything he ever wrote. You see, essentially, Shakespeare was a formula writer. So once he found something that worked, he used it.
Over and over and over again.
So the question is, why write 16 comedies when you can have just one?
We have taken the liberty of condensing all 16 of Shakespeare's comedies into one single play. This we have entitled, The Comedy of 2 Well-Measured Gentlemen, Lost in the Merry Lines of Venice on a midsummer's 12th night in winter.
Act 1. A Spanish dude turns over the rule of his kingdom to his tyrannical twin brother and sets sail for the golden age of Greece, taking along with him his 3 sets of beautiful identical twin daughters.
Act 2. The Duke's brother's long-lost sons, also coincidentally 3 sets of identical twins, have just arrived in Italy.
Act 3. The shipwrecked daughters of the Dukes, washed up on the shores of Italy, disguise themselves as men and become matchmakers. Now on a midsummer's night, they lead all the lovers into a nearby forest, where a bunch of mischievous fairies cause them to fall in love with their own pages, in turn falling in love with the Duke's brother's sons.
Act 4.
The elderly fathers of the Italian sisters, finding their daughters missing, get worried and send out messages to the pages telling them to kill any man in the vicinity.
However, unable to find any men in the forest, the messengers then, in one final misguided act of loyalty, deliver the messages to each other and kill themselves.
Act 5.
They all get married and go out to dinner.
Except for a minor character in Act 2 who got eaten by a bear.
But they all live happily ever after. All right, let's move back and finish up the tragedies now, because what we found is that the comedies aren't nearly as funny as the tragedies. We will now perform an abbreviated version of Macbeth.
In perfect Scottish accents.
Double, toil and trouble.
Stay ye imperfect Mick speaker, Mick tell me Mick more.
Macbeth, fear Macduff.
Mick why Mick I Mick fear Macduff.
And there never was a story of blood and death.
Then they saw Mr. and Mrs. Macbeth.
This is boring. This is the kind of thing that kids hate to study in school because it's so boring. Take the histories, for example. They're like sports.
Sports?
Yeah, with all those kings and queens killing each other off and passing the throne down from one generation to the next. It's just like playing football, except you do it with a crown.
Huh. They are kind of similar, aren't they? Okay, line them up. Let's get macho. 2542, Henry V, Richard II, Part 1, 2, and 3. And the crown is snapped to Richard II, that well-spoken 14th century monarch. He's fading back to pass, looking for an heir downfield. Oh, but there's a heavy rush from King John.
White roast flesh sinks downward.
Oh, the crown is in the air, and Henry VI comes up with it. It's mine! Oh, but he's hit by King John as well. Oh, they're killing him out there. He's out. Oh, King John is in the clear.
My soul hath elbow room.
He's at the 30, the 20, the 15. Oh, he's poisoned on the 10-yard line. Looks like he's out of the game. Replacing him now is number 72, King.
Divided we our kingdom in 3. Cornelia, go on.
No, flag on play. Fictional character on the field. Lear is disqualified and he is not happy about it. Lining up now is that father-son team of Henry V and Prince Hal. Center snaps the quarterback. Quarterback giving the hunchback. Looks like Richard II's lump is giving him trouble.
A horse, my kingdom, a horse.
There's a pileup on the field. Fumble! Henry VI comes up with it. He's at the 30, the 20, the 10. He's stopping at the 5 to cut off his wife's head. Touchdown for the Red Rose! You gotta believe this is the beginning of a Tudor dynasty.
Can I borrow your program for a sec?
What are you doing?
I'm looking at the list of plays. I think we might have done them all already.
Really?
Yeah, you see, we did all the histories just now.
And we covered all the comedies in a lump.
That leaves tragedies. We did Romeo and Juliet, Julius Caesar.
Time of the Athens I mentioned, Antony and Cleopatra. We did Macbeth. Lear was in the football game. We wrapped Othello. Oh, Hamlet. How could we forget Hamlet?
Shakespeare didn't write Hamlet, did he?
Of course he did.
I thought that was a Mel Gibson movie.
Ladies and gentlemen, with 36 plays down, we now attempt one of the greatest plays in all of English history. One with great lofty poetic...
I don't want to do it. It's just that Hamlet's a really serious and hardcore play, and I'm just not up for that right now.
What do you mean? We've done 36 plays already.
It's just... It's that football game. It let me physically, it let me emotionally train. And I don't think that I can do justice to it.
You don't have to do justice to it. You just have to do it.
I don't want to do it.
Look, our show is called The Complete Works of William Shakespeare. I think they would all like to see Hamlet.
All right, then we'll call it The Complete Works of William Shakespeare, except Hamlet. You've been fantastic, ladies and gentlemen.
If you liked our show, tell your friends. But if you didn't, tell your enemies.
Thanks again. I'm Daniel.
I'm Jess, and we are
The Reduced Shakespeare Company.